name is Lou Katzos, and I'm the president of the Eastern Mediterranean Business Culture Alliance. It's a new organization that I formed with some colleagues. I'm one of the founders. Hassan Bibarai is one of the founders also, and John Fotiadis is another founder. We all come from various organizations, and we wanted to form an organization that was inclusive of many different cultures, many different people, and also people who shared a lot of things together historically over a couple of thousand years or more. And so the East Mediterranean concept became very interesting to us. We wanted to have an organization that did a lot of business functions and getting people together from not only various cultures but also various businesses in a very high manner. At the same time, we wanted to do various cultural events that brought a lot of these cultures together. Obviously, we're all Americans, but we share certain commonalities in the East that was really the foundation of both Western and Eastern civilization. So a lot of the things that we want to do on the cultural side will involve all these different cultures.
Sure.
Tonight we're having our first event, which is called the Allegory of the Cave. It's an event that relates to development, design, and construction, and we have a absolutely spectacular panel to discuss those different issues. It's a business meeting, and our audience and our panel are of the highest order in the industry in New York and in the metropolitan area. So we have executives from all these different industries, but at the same time we also have bankers, we also have finance people besides developers and various owners of architectural firms and high-end construction executives. So I hope you enjoy the evening. Our panel discussions are unscripted, so I don't, right this moment, know exactly what questions I'm going to ask, but we always have fun at these events, and it's always a great place for people to get together and share in a commonality, both on a business and cultural side. Thank you.
We also remember the fact that the Eastern Mediterranean thrived through so many different periods in history because commerce and culture in that part of the world always fed each other. They always went hand in hand. So it's important, a lesson for us to remember, and an idea that we feel we should re-embrace. So our events and activities will reflect that.
One thing we wanted to do is create a multi-ethnic, inclusionary type organization. And we are going to have and continue to have, as John indicated, these type of events, business type of events. And to a certain degree, these events are just getting together, chatting, and just meeting you, exchanging cards, discussing what everyone is doing, is really what we're all about. That's where we came from. We were merchants in the past for millennia. And the concept of the East Mediterranean and just business, doing business, is something that's very, very important to us. Certainly the cultural aspect is also very important. It goes back to the Republic, okay, by Plato. It has to do with a dialogue between Plato's brother, who's Glaucon, and Socrates. It has to do with prisoners who are basically chained from childhood and have a flame behind them, and basically they're in a cave, the flame behind them, and the shadows on the wall. And the shadows, after a while, become a reality. And they start taking on personalities and things of that nature. And then within the Republic, they take one of the prisoners and basically bring him out into the light. Originally, the prisoner is confused. They can't see, and eventually they become part of they're able to distinguish features, etc. And then they start to see the light. Okay, so what is the allegory of the cave all about with regards to this particular scenario? We hear a lot of things about development, design, and construction. But the reality is not the shadows in the cave. The reality is what happens in the light outside the cave. So what I did is I brought a panel together that basically is in the light. These are not people in the shadows. These are people basically who are here to enlighten us tonight. And I'm very pleased and very fortunate to have this type of panel. It's a distinguished panel in the development, design, and construction community. So I'm going to stop here, and what I'd like to do, if you can, is just introduce yourselves in your own way, and then we'll ask a series of questions. For those who have not participated in the past in our panel discussions, we have no set questions. It's basically a chat. So I don't know what exactly I'm going to ask, and I don't have any idea what they're going to answer. So, and it's an open forum. We're sitting together, we're chatting, we're outside the cave, and we're got the mic. So,
Just like a movie.
yes.
Hi, my name is Adrienne Albert. I'm CEO of the Marketing Directors. We're an outsource for residential developers for all of their marketing and sales or leasing needs. We do not have a retail, not your kind of retail, but we do not have a street brokerage retail division. All we do is new homes, whether for sale or for lease. We've been operating for more than 35 years and are very proud of our track record. So thank you for coming this evening, and we're very honored to be here with you. And yes, he is my husband.
Lou, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
For the crowd, I'm Jay Gadami, President and Chief Operating Officer of Tishman Construction and AECOM Company. I have to say that because we purchased them a few years ago, so it's important that I mention AECOM. I'm responsible for the operations that Tishman has in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Another company of ours is Sun Construction, which AECOM purchased, and a couple weeks ago, AECOM purchased an open shop company called LBG, understanding that the future in New York is kind of mixed right now. So, Lou, I think that's kind of the Icarus discussion that you had the last time, whether or not we crash and burn or go into the water. So, we're putting our toe in those waters as we speak. But looking forward to a very lively discussion. This is a full room. I see some current employees of mine, some old employees of mine, some clients of mine, some future clients of mine, and then of course there's Oscar. So with that, let's get back to rock and roll.
One of the things I want to start off with before we discuss really what's going to be happening in 2016 or maybe 17. And Jay, you can start this off. Give us a current state of where we are in terms of the construction industry and what's happening in New York right now. And if you can, in each one of your disciplines, please just tell us where we are today. We were in a very bad state, obviously, in 2008, all of us. And we've absolutely risen like Icarus to a certain degree. And hopefully we won't hit the sun and basically come down like Icarus did. But let's discuss where we are today, Jay, if you can, on the construction side.
So we're right now in a building boom. New York Building Congress put out a report actually this morning that talks about $39 billion worth of construction will be put in place in 2016, $40 billion in 2017. That basically takes the numbers that we have seen in 2006 and 2007 and escalated them to current numbers. So we're basically at the peak of the market. There's full employment. There's 130,000 building trade members who have full employment as we speak. And this is primarily due to the residential construction, the condos, the residential, and office buildings. We are seeing an unprecedented amount of new office building. Certainly the One Vanderbilt job will be the start on the Vanderbilt corridor. We see Pacific Park in Brooklyn. We see major projects like LaGuardia, public-private partnerships. So private sector right now is rocking on all cylinders. The public sector has not really hit yet. MTA has got a promise of funding, but no guarantee of funding. The Port Authority is always doing things. You'll see the papers about the new tunnel that may happen. You know, $9 billion was too much a few years ago when the governor of New Jersey killed it, but now $20 billion is okay. So I'm not sure how politics works, but virtually full employment. On the union side, we're still looking for concessions from the unions to get more aggressive. On the non-union side, their numbers are creeping up just because it's supply and demand, and there's just not enough people out there to do the work in all the 5 boroughs. So We're all eating well right now. That causes problems for developers like Excel, David's in the room, and when land costs are $1,000 a foot, people really start to take notice. And how many times can they sell out condos at $4,000 a foot? So right now, the good news is we're in a very good market. So it's a good place to be, certainly for Tishman at this point.
Very good. Thank you, Adrian.
Residential will continue to be strong. The high-priced homes over $5,000 a foot, over $6,000 a foot may move more slowly, but they will be sold. I think you'll continue to see dollars escalating in Manhattan as the mid-market moves up in price. And because of people like the Moynihan Group, you will see continued rentals coming to the marketplace. I think it's very difficult for developers to get into the market right now, so it's really the off-market deals that may prove to be most feasible. And we'll see how much construction, residential construction, can be built in the next few years, given this pricing structure.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you. Oscar?
I'm very optimistic about the next 2 years. I think that interest rates are going to stay not possibly as low as today, but certainly within the range and very low. I think there will be a great deal of available capital, if not from anywhere but all around the world. People will be continuing to invest. I think that we should be in a good shape for the next presidential election, 2016. Generally, there is a great deal of interest in making sure that there are no bumps in the economy, or we did that one in 2008. And I think that commodity costs and construction costs, although they are trending to the high end, still are in a reasonable, at a reasonable level that allow us to go ahead and build. So I believe that at least in this city and probably in the United States as a whole, because the boom that we have here has not yet traveled to the rest of the country, I think that we're in very good shape. Can't give you any predictions beyond that. Ask me in 2 years.
Thank you, Oscar.
We're feeling about the next 2 years are going to be very, very strong. But I think from this point, from this position of strength, we should be thinking much farther down the road. I think we need to be thinking, using this time to think about what the city really needs in terms of infrastructure, in terms of, I think that the city needs to start thinking about new subways. We need to start thinking about where are we going to build more housing. We can build taller, which I'm perfectly inclined with, but I think, and the density is great, but I think we need to start thinking about the city 10 to 15 years from now, or 20 years from now, and saying, where are those areas where we can use much more development, and provide maybe that housing that isn't as expensive, but really take the city from 9 to 10 million to 15 million, or whatever the number's going to be. I think it's got to happen in those areas, and now we're doing so well. We need to plan for that and start to make it happen.
I think we need the civil government in order to do it properly. Back to some people's comments.
Well, for retail, there's always opportunities. I think everybody on this panel has been through 2 or 3 downturns, and I'm always optimistic, or I could be a broker, I'd be insane, but I'm realistic, and I'm always adjusting. But I know that in this market, when it's bad, it's good. When it's good, it's great. But I see the retail now everywhere being more diversified. There's no more pure luxury districts, although Madison Avenue may look to you very designer. There's affordable. I think that you're going to see more catalogers. You're going to see more different types of retail to adjust to the times, up, down, and around. We've never seen so many different concepts. I don't know. You know what? I feel good about it because I feel very fortunate that I'm experienced that whatever market's going to come, I'm going to adjust, okay, to the type of retail that we're going to target. But I think a lot has to do for the retail environment. A lot is supported by the tourism to keep the city safe, not to go on every corner looking at homeless. It's very disheartening. And I think if we can keep the quality of life in the city, all of us not only benefit, but it's very important for the retail. It's important because you can remember Fifth Avenue had discounts and very unattractive shops and a lot of people in front, and that's not what the city looked like, but it's a change. So I think we have to keep a good checks and balances on that, but I feel very strong, especially in view of the world markets and what's happening all over the world, that more people will come here to live, to work, to shop, to go to school. It's very important, and that will keep us going for a long, long time.
Thank you. Please, a round of applause for I'd like to thank the sponsors who put this together, and it makes it really what we want to do. We don't want to have events basically that we're charging people. So sponsors become very important to us. A little bit about the organization. It started really in myself and actually the person who owns the Russia Tea Room, Hassan Dubarai. We traditionally get together about every week, have a cup of coffee, and discuss a lot of different things, in particular relating to the East Mediterranean. So that was really how it started to happen. We are going to be doing a lot of different things, even though we're new. We are going to continue certain things, and we call ourselves an alliance because we don't want to sort of become our own organization and all by ourselves and not linking up with other people and other organizations. So, for example, even though we just started up, we did in fact contribute money towards the Greek Film Festival, and that's something that we thought was very important. We will continue other activities, which include, for example, the genealogy conference. We had the first genealogy conference this year, but we're going to have the second genealogy conference in Chicago in May. The other things, in terms of linking up with organizations, we will be doing things with the Korean War Museum, and in this particular case, we're going to link up with AHEPA, and we have the president of AHEPA chapter here today. It is going to be their event, but it's something we're going to be associated with. So anyone who's interested in the Manhattan chapter of AHEPA, please link up with our TV later.
I invite you to go to our website, EMBCA.com, that's EMBCA.com, to learn more.
So thank you all for coming tonight. This is our first event. We've only been an organization, I think, for about 3 months. And we decided about a month ago to put this event together. Thank you all for coming. Stick around for a few minutes, exchange business cards, do business, and thank you again.
MGTV USA. Οι δραστηριότητες της ελληνοαμερικανικής κοινότητας με βίντεο και πλήρες ρεπορτάζ. Επισκεφτείτε την ιστοσελίδα μας mgtvusa.com. Καλύπτουμε καθημερινά τα γεγονότα στην Ομογένεια. Επίσης, αναλαμβάνουμε την κάλυψη των εκδηλώσεών σας, γάμους, βαπτίσεις, παραγωγές διαφημίσεων, ντοκιμαντέρ. Τηλεφωνήστε μας στο 718 908 8729 ή επισκεφτείτε μας στο διαδίκτυο mgtvusa.com.